Hello, Jay. Before I call, I thought I should give you a visual of what's going on. We removed the bottom transom plank, and of course we've got all the holes plugged. We did that because we have a problem here on the end of the chine. This should have extended all the way back. This is all rot. We're going to take this plank off as well. I just never thought to tell you to take that plank off. But normally we do take this plank off and then rebed it in 5200 in this plank seam, a plank to chine seam, and also in this plank on that batten. We've got so going back to the chine. We'll be pulling this plank off, and we'll probably replace the chine here. We're going to make a scarf joint here. That way we can bolt through the scarf joint, and we'll have this. We'll have a new end on it. All that will be new. The transom bow is white oak, and I can cut that. Luckily, we've got white oak that is this thick, and we can cut that. We'll just have a sawn transom bow instead of having to steam it in. It has rot on both ends, and it also has rot. Here we go. Rot right here is starting to show up. We've got crack. It almost looks like charcoal right here, various places. So by the time we repaired all those places, we still have an old transom bow, and we'd have more time in it than just replacing it. This chine is also a problem. We're going to do the same treatment on this chine. It's not quite as rotted back as far, but still the best place to make my joint is going to be right here at this frame. And so this plank, of course, will also be coming off. You can also already see where we spent an hour or so the other day filling these cracked frames with epoxy, and we're just going to fill those guys up. We got a syringe. We have to fill them up from the bottom. So we just went around with a syringe the other day. We'll do that again. Fill all these up. There's no reason to replace the frames other than they look great other than these splits. And so how we're going to take care of the splits is just fill them up with epoxy. So we got another round to make today on that. And then the only other place that we have and these were probably split at the factory. I don't know for a fact. And we don't want to leave those splits in there because they could be water pockets. I just don't think this boat saw much water at all. This is the best looking frames on a boat this age. We've seen boats much younger than this with frames in much worse condition. So I just think this boat just didn't see much water. We have right here a bad joint. We've got so we're going to make a repair here. This had a dowel in it right here, and we'll be probably piecing it. Here's where our problem is. We don't have a good rabbet on this, so we'll be replacing part of this. Then this part, this piece right here, that's the stem, and that's the gripe. So we'll unbolt this, and we'll put 5200 in between this joint, and then we'll pull these joints together with the bolts, and we should have a good joint then. There doesn't seem to be any rot in the stem, and so we should be okay there. So those are the things that we will have done, and of course, in addition to having that done, we will have the planks rough sawn and planed for you, resawn and planed. Where did I say rough sawn? Resawn and planed for you, and then of course we'll also have this thing leveled front to back, side to side, so that we can make sure that we're not make sure we're putting the frame put together symmetrically. Over here you see your plywood that we purchased for you. That's all ready to go on, and of course we won't put those on until we've made our planks. We'll duplicate our planks, get them steamed in place, get them clamped in place, and then after we've got the planks made, we put the plywood on, and we put the planks back on long enough to do our pre-drilling. Then we take those off, and we start bedding them on the plywood with the bedding compound. The only steps I just left out was We'll have to CPES the plywood, Smith's clear penetrating epoxy sealer, and we sell the quart kits. You can buy 4-quart kits for a little less money than our competitors sell a full gallon, the 2-gallon kits. So the drying time on the CPES is really short. I mean, by the time you get all of this coated, you'll be ready to put another coat on, and then if we do it near the end of the day, well, if we don't do it near the end of the day, it'll be ready to use within a couple hours after that. So that's no big deal at all as far as drying times go. Cure time on the 5200, when we put the 5200, I don't know how many days you're going to spend here at a time, but when we put the 5200 on, it takes 7 days for that to cure. So we won't even think about turning the boat back over for 7 days after the 5200 goes on. I'm going to give you a call after you've had a chance to view this, and we'll make a plan of attack for your arrival after the first of the year. That will give us time to take care of these repairs this week and next. This week and next, and then and have everything resawn and ready to put the new planks, make the new planks when you arrive. We'll show you how to do that, and that's probably a good week-long process for one guy. I'd have to go back and look in invoices and see how long that actually does take, but that's my gut is that's about how long it's going to take you. Anyhow, we'll get a chance to talk here in just a few minutes. Later.